Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another scene set in Odessa the Dark Crusade Season 2, where we set our scene in the brand new Church of Riverside. Set at the center of the district, in the big square. The only real square that Riverside has, the center of the marketplace, a rather lovely church, a little bit modest or small, but otherwise, but definitely one of the more illustrious buildings, particularly for Riverside, located within the square. Inside, there are several Cainites stationed, perhaps sitting on various pews. One of them on the mount. And likely a couple just conversing by one of the supporting pillars that hold up the roof, and one just probably musing over one of the lovely stained glass windows provided by the Artisans Guild. Those Cainites being members of a now defunct clan, relegated to the status of bloodline. Something they're all here to discuss and potentially resolve. And an outsider, too, in fact. One, a very, very old Cainite. You might just call him an elder. And another, oh so very young. In fact, if she were not a harpy, you might just call her a fledgling. But she is a harpy, and what good news she has to share with everybody. She certainly will by the end of this evening. And that is where we set our scene, as Famushi is either in the church or has already arrived. Irene probably being early because it's her church, so she would have had to have opened it for everybody.
Yeah, but since Famushi is living with her, I guess the two of them would have arrived at the same time?
I guess.
Famushi, for the most part, while people entered, he was sitting cross-legged on the altar in that kind of meditative stance.
Mm-hmm.
When enough people have entered, he hops down from where he sits. For the record, he's got to have his third eye open so he can actually see. But the first one he's going to approach the man in the turban first, Abraham. And he won't bow or do anything of that kind of melodramaticness, but he is going to embrace Abraham.
Oh. Something Abraham actually much prefers. He's as as seen in the overlay, he's uh, a Middle Eastern gentleman, fairly small, probably about as tall as you, Famoshi. He's not abnormally small, but he is fairly meek looking. His rather slender appearance, somewhat obfuscated under his rather long, baggy robes and his large white turban, as he approaches and goes to hug you.
Be welcome here, brother.
He smiles and just goes, "Thank you, brother. It is good to see so many of our clan together again."
You bring with you one I do not remember inviting, but you are also more than welcome, friend. He says as he looks to this individual's grandfather, I think he is.
Yes, Abraham will kind of gesture towards him and just go, This is my grandchild, Angelo. He has been staying with me within the confines of Timurin.
You know what? Angelo gets a hug too.
Oh. Well, Angelo is a little bit more formal, so he kind of goes shake your hand, and then you just hug him, and he's like, "Oh, it's happening." It's sort of like this. Oh no, I can't do that. Spoilers, but I think you'll understand the quote where he's like, "Oh, this is nice." Yeah, he being a bit older, he kind of surprise hugging me. He almost stumbles, and he just goes, "Oh, careful! You're knocking me off my feet."
You will forgive me. My joy at seeing so many of my brothers and sisters is overwhelming.
It has been some time since I saw us all together in accordance.
He smiles. And there was one last one to meet, I believe, of note.
Yes, she enters separately. She seems quite segregated from the rest of you. She walks over.
Does she have the awesome burb?
Pardon?
Does she have the awesome burb?
1 second. Let me. Yeah, she has the burb. It's not. She does wear she is wearing a falconer's glove, but the bird is currently not perched on it. It's actually just kind of just nesting in the support beams.
He kind of looks up at the bird, kind of cocks his head to the side and smiles. He likes birds.
Yeah, it kind of emits a modest but welcoming squawk at all of you.
And who are you, my lady?
My name is, well, everybody just calls me Kate. One of the surviving neonate warriors from Odessa's constant warring.
He nods and he says, I'm sorry that you have had to bear so much suffering and the weight of so much loss.
I hope this meeting will provide us a path to ending it.
Yes. Please, everyone, be seated. He will introduce the 6 new baby warriors that are kind of milling about. Little babies. He has given them new names, proper names. I am not going to list out their names because they are long and complicated. I would like to take a moment to thank the honored Seneschal of Edessa for gracing us with his presence. He will incline his head.
He will incline his head as well, and in respect of the acknowledgement.
And I would like to thank our hostess, Lady Irina Geras, for her infinite kindness for those who are lost in the wilderness.
I guess Irene will stay, at least within walking distance of the Seneschal right now, as for most she doesn't need her help and this is not her business. So she'll just nod her head.
Mamushi goes and he kind of hops back up on the altar and he sits down. And he looks down at the collective and he says, myself and my brothers have recently returned from the East, where we have walked many paths and learned many truths, uncovered many lies. And we come back here to find so much sadness, an ocean of pain and death. However, there is still hope. We have not been spent yet. Those in Europe may have forgotten us, but here we can turn the tide. And Bishop's mechanical keyboard fucking kills my life.
Quiet, you.
Did you just do that just to be spiteful? Douche. But he looks around at those gathered and he says, when Lord Saulot died, was murdered, his life that had lasted since the second city snuffed out, we lost our way. But neither side was correct. The warriors wanted to bloody ourselves against those who'd killed our Lord and our Master. And in doing so, they were funneled like lambs to the slaughter. And the healers wished to do nothing. They wished pacifism to win out and to express nobler ideals, whilst it was that we were cut down. Neither of these mindsets or these mantras was correct. But with any luck, as I said, we have the power here and now to turn the tide. He looks down at those gathered. The brilliant kind of gold of his the eye in the center of his forehead kind of flicks around, and he looks at them all. I would ask your help, each one of you here gathered, to help me build a better future for our clan. A future wherein we stand united, not as disparate parts, but as a single whole, who work forward because we have forgotten the fact that we exist to solve the wounds, mend the broken bones, and heal the ills of mankind. We will defend ourselves to the last, but we cannot and should not forget our purpose. It is not what Saulot would have wanted. It is not what history will. We will not be a footnote in history. And he just kind of sits there and waits.
Okay. Abraham, he's just probably been sitting at one of the front pews. He's actually probably been sitting with his grandchild. And he's just kind of been nodding along. He's kind of got his eyes closed, very calm, almost meditative. And he will say, again, in a fairly soft and almost a voice that is a little bit too quiet, given the distance between you, as he says, "And what is the future that you would wish of us? What is it that you would like for the clan to accomplish in this place? It is a rare blessing that so many of us could come together again after the events that have transpired over the decades. Like yourself, I would not wish for it to go to waste."
Brother Abraham, I come from the East, and in the East, the third group, the forgotten brothers and sisters of Saulot, still hold sway. We have not been forgotten, there at least. And let me tell you something, my brothers and my sisters. Though before I do, to secrecy you must all be sworn. I would even ask our guests to honor this covenant of the hushed word, that what I tell you now will not leave this hall. He looked at the seneschal, if that is amenable to you, honored sir.
Seneschal looks at you. There's a brief pause where he's quite statuesque and doesn't really move until he simply gives you a slow and stony nod.
When I was in the East, I spoke with Brahmin and wise men. I spoke with those who hid in temples and high mountains. But I spoke to our brothers and I spoke to our sisters there. And I have learned that they have been granted a prophecy. A prophecy that the dragon himself will return. That Saulot is not dead and that he will return to us.
Kate's reaction is the strongest. She looks very surprised and shocked at this revelation. Angelo also looks surprised. And you measure is probably as surprised as Kate is, but it just doesn't look as such simply because he's a more composed individual. Abraham, for his part, almost sounds like he was expecting to hear something like this. Not expectant. He wasn't expecting this. He appears unsurprised, but it's nonetheless causes him to smile slightly.
The only person in the room I want to activate Aura Sight on is the Seneschal. If that's all right by you, Bishop.
Okay. Yep, go ahead.
Cool. Which dice roller shall we use? Let's use 3 because it was
We'll
just
use
used.
3. Yeah, I'll just use 3. I'll just put the thing down. Actually, you put the title down because you've got it.
Give me 2 seconds. There we go. I think that you'll like the title.
Oh. Cute.
It's perception, empathy.
Perception, empathy.
Wow, those ones. 2 successes.
2 successes. You only get the main emotion. He is, for the record, he actually I'm gonna have him roll manipulation subterfuge because he isn't. He is trying to hide his bodily reaction, as it were, his expression.
As you get a bit dice roll of a million dice.
He doesn't actually have a specialty in this, so he gets the 7 successes.
I can't actually beat him, so. That is not to say somebody like Abraham, who probably has empathy out the yin yang, can't, however.
Yeah, I'm actually going to double check Abraham's real quick because I don't think I think Angelo has the chance, but I don't think he's going to. So we'll just focus on the people who have the best shot. And Abraham actually does have a specialty in this. Oh, just short.
Those ones, though, bro.
Those ones, though. So Abraham doesn't spot anything. I mean, literally every other dice outside of the ones was a success. So there you go. Yeah.
But you know, so he will say, so to answer your question, noble Abraham, what it is I seek to do is I seek to build our clan here to the point that we will endure until our Lord returns to us in the way he would have wanted us to endure, not forgetting ourselves, not forgetting the people. For after all, the warriors are the shepherds in order to make sure that they are safe from the corruption of this world, whilst it is the healers solve their wounds and tend to the flock. That is our duty. I have not forgotten my duty.
It hardens me to see there are those that have not yet forgotten. But Tabris has done much damage to our clan's place here.
Tabris has done evils, and for those evils, Tabris has been given vengeance. He has been punished as per our way. The code of Samael has been upheld as I have given punishment, retribution to my brother. However, Tabris was right. The Assamites forgot us because of a slight that we did not necessarily create. Because some of our brothers in Europe were overzealous, they abandoned us. They threw us to the side. Assamites are the judges of Cain, given that purview by he who is the founder of our line themselves. For the record, I have Kindred lore 4 with a specialty in Kindred history. Stop me if there's something I shouldn't know, basically.
Okay, no, that's fine. You're a straight up modest. There might be a couple things you might not know because Kenite Lore 5 is a bitch, but
I'm an old school modest.
in so far, everything is fine.
Cool. He will say, Alamut will need to be shown the fact that they have made a mistake. Blood has been spilt by Tabarisk, yes. But how much blood have they washed their hands of from our clan? There was a time when we fought side by side against the Bali, not once, but twice, when we were the spears that drove them back. Alamut needs to remember this, and so it is that I will ask the Assamites to put myself and our clan on trial. Let the judges judge us. They will find that we are worthy. As for the rest of Tabarisk's sins, he looks down and he smiles at the 6 kindred whom stand next to him. These children were brought into the darkness. Many of them were mercenaries and soldiers. But now they have a chance to do good, to protect those who require protection. Good can spring from evil deeds. As for Tabarisk himself, he has seen our ways, and he has seen the fact that in my actions God smiled on me in our duel. And I think that he will be more of an asset than he was ever a hindrance, because that steely resolve of his, he merely needs to see that there is hope, and that will melt. And I intend to show him hope.
Well, I hope you're right. Kate gives a bit of a sardonic smile, given the wordplay there. She kind of looks at the 6 Canaanites. There are dozens more.
Yes, there are.
We'll have to work quickly if we're going to save the rest. They won't all be able to stay here.
No. However, there is possibilities in other large cities. They could be sent to Accra to reinforce our brothers and sisters there.
Accra was regrettably where we divided ourselves as a clan. While no doubt it is the safest place for those that we cannot guide personally, I do fear that the conflict there may also divide their hearts as it has ours.
Then we show Accra that there is a better way. We heal the wound. That is what we do. We mend, we fix, we suture close the cuts that are deep within the heart of man. What are we to say to man if we cannot heal ourselves? We must at least try. Here in this Edessa, we have a chance to show Accra, to show the rest of our brothers and sisters that they can work together, that this ideological split is meaningless when we have nights upon nights to come and our name cannot slip from history. If we work together, if we are unified, the usurpers and all of their dark sorceries cannot stand a chance. We defeated Moloch. We defeated the Nameless One. These are our accolades. What is Tremere but a popular magician who is parlaying with parlor trick? That was really good. Holy shit.
Um, Kate Kate looks a little bit troubled by something, and then she speaks up. If it were so true that they were just street magicians, we would not be gathered like this in the first place.
That, my dear. Oh no, that, noble Kate, is because we have not been unified. We have
We
not.
were for the first many years of our existence. It was only after our founder's destruction that we divided.
Yes. Perhaps you are right. Perhaps they are strong. However, we have never been afraid to face strength before. He actually he's gonna get up off his perch up on the altar, and he walks down to her and he takes her hands in his and he kind of he squeezes them as a sign of reassurance, and he says, ultimately we cannot do this alone. We need to remind the other clans why it is that we are valued, why it is that we are worth their while. Here in Edessa, there is a means to which we can do this. If Clan Salubri strike down this great darkness that makes this city shiver at night, it will send ripples through all the children of the night. And they will remember why it is that we have our place. That is why I am here, to end the threat of this Bali infestation, just as Samael did when he walked alone into that village all those centuries ago. If I die, he shrugs, I die, but I will leave you all a legacy that other children of the night will remember.
Not even our legacies are safe.
He smiles. Too true. Then we will build something that will last and will endure. We are not defeated yet. We are not necessarily talking about fighting the Tremere here. I don't sense that we would win. Maybe here in Edessa, for at the moment this city burns from the inside out and nothing is sure. The Tremere here appear sluggish and stupid, but then again, he shrugs. That is their business. Ultimately, as it pertains moving forward, we will build something in granite and marble, something that will endure, a place where we can do our work with the people, where we can heal their wounds, where we can solve their pain. We will do this work together. And through every smile, every laugh, and every moment of a life that we extend that is worth the extension, that will be our legacy. That is something the Tremere can never take from us.
She seems a bit doubtful, but not in a malicious way. She doesn't seem unconvinced either, but she but she will say, but first you'll need to convince. First, you'll need to convince our clan to reverse a decision it was already made. It's funny that you speak of our brothers and sisters in the East. They never actually made themselves a part of the conversation, and I could never touch my. I could never really. I could really never touch upon as to why.
They have their task that was set for them by Saulot, as we did. In the East, they do their work. In the East, they do as they do. That is not to say that they do not remember us, and that is not to say that they did not love our founder as much as we did. But they have their role, and they complete their role. They have sent with me a representative of their own, whom you may speak to if you wish, in order to make them feel more real, more tangible. He is currently blah, because that is going to be a PC, so blah.
I certainly hope it is worth more than what they've currently done for our clan. She says a bit very flatly, but the words themselves kind of betray resentment.
He smiles and he says, I merely ask that you give this a chance. That is all we ever ask, is the chance for something greater. Can I have your acquiescence to a simple chance? To hope.
They will have their chance, however late it comes.
He nods. Brother Abraham, when this new hospital is finished, will you come and help those as you have done in ages past?
From ages past to new ages of the future. This is just as you have your duties. I am proud to carry out my own, and I thank you for giving me the opportunity to do so.
He looks to the last of the named Salubri, obviously Abraham's grandchild, and he'll say, and you? Will you come along with us too, honored sir? For a brighter tomorrow?
Where my grandsire goes, I follow. He gives you a rather contented smile.
In that case, honored Seneschal, as I have known your clan of old, as I have been invested with their friendship, as I have seen our friendship grow, shadow and angel, hand in hand, the will of my clan is made manifest. My clan is a clan. If you wish our support in the war to come, for there will be a war to come here for the soul of Edessa. Not this earth, not these rocks, not these homes, but the soul of the thing. We will give it. All that we ask is that you remember as it was of old. The clan of Salubri are that, a clan. And would you like me to roll a social check?
Yeah, sure. Roll me charisma expression difficulty. It's normally be 8, pure clan friendships. I'll say 6.
You know how yesterday you went through willpower like a mofo?
Yeah.
I'm also going to go through willpower like a mofo. Ooh, does my enchanting voice kick in?
You have enchanting voice?
I have enchanting voice.
Irene, that's not you. That's. Just double checking because I think I have a lot of merits. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Enchanting voice will work here.
Cool.
Your voice sounds all pretty.
I know. It makes me so like I'm like easy listening for the
Yeah.
elderly. Oh shit! That was wrong. But I'm just
It's
gonna.
also, bitch.
Also, I think
Why didn't that work?
because I didn't put a hashtag in between the thing and the thing.
Oh.
That is 4 successes with the willpower spent.
Okay. Hmm. For Seneschal, he is he's considering off, but slightly amused by one of your statements. He'll just kind of stop leaning on one of the pillars and will stand up, begin approaching the ascent of room which leads through the pews. He'll say, I think, one way or the other, you wouldn't be able to stop yourself even if you wanted to, but I am old. I remember when your clan reveled even the Bruiser and the Ventru for all of their glories. Speaking of which, I'm not sure they'll be too fond of that, and I know that you'll have your fair share of detractors. I can only assume you're prepared to face them. But if the Salubri wish to go forth and stake this claim, they will have my endorsement in this. I cannot guarantee complete compliance from the rest of the domain, particularly given the presence of several actors we're all very much aware of. But I can guarantee you will have your chance. Whether it will last, that is beyond my power to foresee or to provide you as of this moment. But I can see to it that you would be represented as of now, for the moment. So you will have your chance to build something that will endure.
He looks to Abraham and he says, if you wish to be the one who will lead our clan into a tomorrow in this city as its voice, as its lead, I will support you in this if that is your desire.
Abraham gives this consideration. He very obviously does not jump on it or say yes. He seems to very carefully consider this. He falls silent for a moment. Seems to think on this very, very carefully. And after that silence, he will speak. We are both figures who bear great responsibility and duties to others. And we both understand that often the political frameworks that we act within usually contradict and compromise such duties. The last thing I wish for either of us, or for whoever would wish to take up this position, is that they have their path dictated and compromised by the politics that they would be bound to. I am not eager to take up this role. I have never been the Salubri Primogen of Edessa or from wherever else I have travelled from. But neither would I wish to see you compromised or endangered by the politics that would bind you if we were to also take up this position.
It is the oath of my road and the oath that I gave Samael's code that I would protect the healer caste whilst they did their great work. If I hold true to that tenet as the Primogen of the Salubri, to serve as the protector of all, then whatever compromises I am forced to make may be mitigated. For I know that I do so to be the shield of our clan. As I have said, I will do this if it is that you do not desire it. And I will do this to the best of my ability because I believe our clan deserves just and true leadership, and that I believe can font from either one of us.
Just a quick out of character question, because this does relate to a few mechanics. Do you want me to explain what Abraham is saying in particular?
I would be delighted.
Okay, so he knows that obviously the warriors are obligated to exact justice and vengeance on Cainites who commit to evil. Given the incident that happened at Omar's shop, he would not like you to put yourself at risk if an incident like that were to occur at a court of Primogen or officials, as well as being obligated to challenge Cainites on a low road or them actively acting in such a way that you would be obligated to destroy them. Basically, both of you, but Abraham in particular, understands that we're good, but the rest of the Primogen may not be, and if they're not, you will be obligated to go after them.
Then there's the other counterpoint to that, which is what I'm trying to get at, which is if you have to do horrible things that I know I may have to do, you could lose yourself, and I don't know if you are willing to do what
he would very likely have to endorse the deaths of various individuals. So
You know what? Famushi will look at Abraham and he will say this very matter. He will say this not to kind of end the discussion, but I think that it's something that the two of them could literally talk about or debate about until Judgment Day, because both of them are trying to save the other.
Yes, basically, they're trying to help the other out of compromising their own road. Is basically what they're doing.
He will look at him and he will say, "I will hold true to the tenets of Samael. I will protect you, and I will stain my own soul if it is needed. To protect you, that is what I must do." He's basically saying, I will take the responsibility, even if it might cause me to lose my own, to basically fall down my own road, because in doing so, I am protecting you, which is my duty.
Okay. Abraham isn't very happy with this concept, but this is actually probably the first time he's showed an expression that is not one of serenity or happiness. This he finds quite depressing, quite troubling. But actually, roll me charisma expression to convince him, because he really doesn't want to let you do.
But it's like, I can't let him do it. God damn it!
There's another endgame spoiler here.
We've all seen the movie. Actually, because it feels like it'd be more applicable, can I roll leadership?
Yes, and you can apply those 2 extra status dice you would get from the Blooded by the Code merit, because, hey, guess what? Abraham is a Salubri.
I was going to say, also, do I get my enchanting voice?
Yes.
Aww.
Basically, enchanting voice involves any social role in which you're speaking, which is why it's so ridiculously good.
That's...
Yeah, we'll go from... Yep. Yeah, 3 successes is enough. So he'll kind of close his eyes and think on it.
In order to make this easy, Famushi walks down to him and he puts his hand on his shoulders and he presses his forehead to his forehead, and he says in a low voice, so that only the two of them can hear it, he will say, "Should I fall or should I stray? You are one of the few left who can aid my soul on the way back to the correct path. We cannot necessarily do that for you." Because in character, I think that Famushi obviously knows what, Healer Valerian 5 does.
Yes. Then trust me to never allow you to lose your way, and I will trust you to lead.
It is decided. He looks to the others and he says, "Does anyone here challenge?"
Well, the only other warrior here is nowhere even remotely close to your level, so no. For the record, she does actually have that H brand on her shoulder.
Not strictly true. There is another warrior here. He just hasn't made himself visible. He is probably standing off in an antechamber, but can hear.
Oh, what, that guy?
That guy.
I mean, there's always Baharael.
No, you will not kill the cinema.
Baharael dies.
I did love how everyone was so shook when he died. It was like, he's so pretty, he's so noble, and I was like, he was trying to murder Bishop.
They wanted the guy who was trying to murder. They wanted the guy who was trying to murder me to make out with me. It's very strange.
Yaoi fan fiction.
Right.
Yeah.
Hi. I'm sitting there in a corner listening.
Irene is just listening very intently to all of this.
Well, I was just pointing out, he is here if he wants to spend that willpower and go, bitch, please.
He's not. I think he'd agree with this decision, to be honest. So he will not. You receive nothing more than empty silence.
It is decided. I would ask as a harpy, Lady Irene, that you make the formal introduction, or the formal declaration.
Of course.
I will speak with the prince and ensure that everything is in order.
We will do exactly as I have said, Seneschal. We will battle this darkness for Odessa's soul, because that is what we must do. And now we have a vested interest in ensuring that this city does not become another village of the corrupted, another home of the damned.
Well, you've got your work cut out for you. But if that is all, I will not infringe upon your clan meeting any further.
What is the Seneschal's actual name?
Has he even... I think some people know his name.
Yes.
But, like, most people just end up calling him the Seneschal now.
I'd assume his name would be a matter of public record.
Yeah. People know him as Seneschal Lantoon. It's Mahomet Antoon.
Lantoon?
And wait, let me type it for you.
Antoon. Like an A.
There you go.
Go in peace, honored Antoon. You have proven yourself to be a good and just friend to Clan Salubri. It will be remembered.
There's one thing I trust us all to do. It is to remember. But thank you. And he will depart by simply sinking into the shadow of the pillar that he stands under.
Gertie. Of course.
At this point, Nerael does something quite interesting. He simply turns and he kneels in front of the altar. And as I think a good point to end the scene, he is just going to pray for guidance in what he must now do. Let's see if the other Salubri join me in prayers.
Oh, they will. Well, Kate probably won't. She actually just calls down her burp. But the two healers will.
Burp. Can I just point out that the burp was the NP? Was the whatchamacallit, the VIP, or not the VIP? What's it, the
MVP?
MVP of the scene? Totally. Yes.
Squawk.
Squawk. All right. I think at that point we will bring this scene to a close. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. This has been another Scene in Darkness in Dublin, and watch as the Tremere Lord in Antioch literally shits his pants. Have a pleasant evening.